Tyson would get slapped all over the place. Short guy, straight. My guy would have surrounded him. He would have been.
Angelo Dundee wasn't just a boxing trainer, he was a legend. He guided Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and countless champions to glory. But even the man known for coaching some of the fiercest fighters in history had boxers who intimidated him. Today, we uncover the 10 boxers Angelo Dundee admitted he was scared to fight. Men whose skill, power, or reputation demanded respect. And yes, even fear. 10. George Foreman. George Foreman was a living juggernaut, and Angelo Dundee knew it. Standing over 6 feet tall with a physique that looked like pure granite, Foreman was the embodiment of raw power. Every punch he threw carried the potential to end a fight instantly. Dundee often marveled at the sheer force behind Foreman's blows. It wasn't just strength, it was precision power honed over years of disciplined training. Even the most seasoned fighters needed careful strategy to survive a round against him. Foreman didn't rely on tricks or fancy footwork. His dominance came from brutality, coupled with surprisingly quick hands. Dundee admitted that the thought of facing Foreman, even as a trainer in simulations or sparring, demanded utmost respect. The fear wasn't weakness, it was awareness. Foreman's punches could annihilate anyone who underestimated them. Dundee often recalled the 1970s era when champions across divisions paused to consider Foreman's might. Every trainer, every fighter understood that facing him wasn't just a match. It was a test of survival. 9. Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston was fear incarnate. Dundee knew the reputation before even stepping into the same room with him, the knockout artist with a glare that could freeze men in their tracks. Liston's hands were enormous, his power legendary, and his timing impeccable. Dundee often described him as a living warning to anyone who stepped in the ring. It wasn't only Liston's punches that caused fear, it was his presence, his mental dominance, the aura that whispered danger with every movement. During training sessions with fighters who were set to face Liston, Dundee emphasized discipline, respect, and focus because one lapse could mean disaster. He recounted stories of how even champions, physically prepared, felt that mental pressure of knowing one mistake could lead to an immediate knockout. To Dundee, Liston represented the dark side of boxing. Raw strength combined with psychological warfare. No gimmicks, no theatrics, just pure, terrifying capability that demanded respect from every corner of the boxing world. 8. Ken Norton. Ken Norton wasn't just a physical threat, he was a tactical nightmare. Dundee had immense respect for Norton's unorthodox style, knowing it could frustrate and confuse even the most experienced opponents. Norton's ability to mix aggression with unpredictability made him a boxer you could never fully anticipate. Dundee often recounted that when strategizing for fighters facing Norton, every move had to be calculated, every punch carefully considered. Norton's strength and resilience compounded the danger. He could absorb damage and retaliate with sudden, sharp attacks. For Dundee, fighting Norton mentally was as challenging as fighting him physically. He understood that underestimating Norton's ring intelligence or defensive skills could be fatal. Dundee's fear was the professional kind. Respect for the fighter's capacity to dominate, manipulate, and exploit any weakness. Norton was the kind of opponent who made even the most confident boxers reassess their entire game plan, and Dundee recognized that mental edge as a hallmark of genuine danger in the ring. 7. Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran was a whirlwind in the ring, and Dundee never underestimated him. Duran's pressure-fighting style left opponents with little breathing room. He attacked relentlessly, combining speed, precision, and a ferocious will to win. Dundee admired his technique, but also acknowledged the terror of facing him. Every punch Duran threw was calculated yet overwhelming. It wasn't just the quantity of punches, but the intent behind each one. Dundee often described Duran's stamina as unmatched. Even after multiple grueling rounds, he maintained intensity, forcing opponents to respond with constant alertness. His cunning and adaptability made him unpredictable, meaning a fighter had to be perfect in execution or face severe consequences. Dundee knew that Duran could mentally wear down even the strongest boxers, forcing them into mistakes that would cost them dearly. For Angelo, fear in this context was respect. An understanding that Duran's combination of technical skill and raw aggression made him a true force of nature in boxing history. 6. Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was a relentless hurricane in the ring, and Dundee never forgot the danger of his left hook. Frazier's relentless style combined strength, endurance, and unyielding pressure, making him one of the most intimidating fighters to strategize against. Dundee often recounted sparring simulations, noting that even when preparing champions like Muhammad Ali, the thought of absorbing Frazier's onslaught required caution. The fear wasn't a personal weakness, it was professional awareness. Understanding that Frazier's timing and ability to deliver devastating power in close quarters could end fights in an instant. Dundee respected Frazier's discipline, his focus, and his ability to wear opponents down psychologically and physically. Frazier wasn't just strong, he was intelligent in his aggression, knowing exactly when to strike, when to bait, and when to unleash his most dangerous shots. For Dundee, preparing for Frazier meant respecting both his fists and his mind. 5. Mike Tyson. Even decades after Tyson's prime, Dundee admitted he felt apprehension thinking about the sheer explosiveness of the young Iron Mike. Tyson's combination of speed, power, and aggressive early-round strategy made him a living knockout machine. Dundee admired his ferocity but knew that any error could be fatal. He often recounted studying tapes and preparing fighters with meticulous strategies to withstand the opening barrage. Tyson's compact frame belied his immense punching power, and Dundee emphasized the psychological edge. Tyson's intimidation could mentally shake even veteran boxers before the bell. The fear wasn't irrational, it was grounded in observing how Tyson could dismantle opponents in under 3 rounds. Dundee respected the discipline behind Tyson's aggression, the careful conditioning, and the timing that made his attacks lethal. Facing Tyson demanded not just skill, but composure under the threat of immediate devastation. 4. Larry Holmes was a technician of boxing, and Dundee admired his precision and intelligence. Holmes's jab was a weapon that controlled fights, keeping opponents at bay while setting up devastating combinations. Dundee often remarked that Holmes's technical superiority made him intimidating. He could dominate rounds without taking unnecessary risks. The fear wasn't about brute force. It was Holmes's ability to methodically dismantle a fighter's plan. His endurance, accuracy, and tactical discipline meant any misstep could be punished immediately. Dundee had to prepare fighters meticulously, ensuring they respected Holmes's timing, positioning, and punch selection. Holmes's ring IQ combined with his reach and stamina made him a calculated threat, one that demanded the full mental focus of both fighter and trainer. For Dundee, Holmes embodied the danger of fighting someone who could outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast any opponent. 3. Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson wasn't just a powerful fighter. He was a master of strategy and psychological dominance. Dundee often spoke of Johnson's ability to control the ring, dictate pace, and exploit weaknesses with surgical precision. Johnson's reputation as a tactician, combined with his physical prowess, made him one of the most intimidating figures in boxing history. Dundee respected his intelligence and adaptability. Johnson could turn any fight into his favor through cunning, making even the strongest opponent wary. His presence in the ring carried authority, a confidence that unsettled many fighters before they even landed a punch. 2. Muhammad Ali. Yes, Dundee feared Ali, but in the way only someone who understands greatness could. Ali's speed, unpredictability, and mental games meant that every fight was as dangerous as it was thrilling. Dundee's fear was intertwined with awe. 1. Sugar Ray Leonard topped Dundee's list, not just for power, but for intelligence, speed, and elusiveness. Angelo admitted that Leonard's combination of tactical brilliance and blistering attacks made him the kind of opponent even a trainer would think twice about entering the ring with. Angelo Dundee spent a lifetime training champions, but even he had respect and fear for the greats. From the raw power of Foreman to the tactical genius of Leonard, these 10 fighters proved that true greatness commands awe. If you enjoyed this countdown of Dundee's most intimidating fighters, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment which boxer you think would strike fear into anyone's heart.